Good morning children. Today we are going to see our lesson number 7, Q basic statements. What is this Q basic? Q basic is nothing but a simple programming language. Simple programming language which is created by Microsoft. Okay, Microsoft which created our Windows has created this programming language because we need to program means we have to write the set of instructions. That instructions will make the computer work and give us the desired results. Okay, so for that we should know what is a programming language, and what we should know is the basic programming language. Then only you can build on our logics. Okay, so the basic programming language is called basic, that is beginners all purpose. That is what they have written. Original language basic. What is that? Beginners all purpose symbolic instruction code. So basics expansion is this. Beginners all purpose symbolic instruction. You should know very well. This is very, very important. This is a very important 1 mark. Okay. And the Q basic is a programming language created by Microsoft. Then it is very easy to learn, understand, and it uses mostly English like words. That is why we are using this. Okay, if I say print, the word print means what? I am going to put the output on the monitor, or I am going to print it on a paper. Similarly, if I say input, I am going to give some values into the computer as input. So these type of words will tell us the same meaning as English words. So it will be having mostly the English words. Okay, and then most mathematical symbols like plus, to add, all the mathematical symbols can be used here. Okay, and it is most flexible, easy to learn, and you can modify already the existing programs, everything. Okay, so this is a beginner's very, very easy language to be learnt. Okay, first one is, what are the rules of the Q basic? Rules means what? Say when we were learning our English language, we were told some rules like our alphabets. There are 26 alphabets, and then there is the capital letters and there is the small letters. Capital letters, they should be written like this. Small letters, they should be written like this. So those were all small rules. Similarly, we have certain rules for Q basic. What are the rules? First one is, all the Q basic statements or the programs are made up of instructions called statements. So all the line is called as statements. Then the statements should not be written as it is. You cannot simply write the sun rises in the east in Q basic. You have to follow the syntax. Syntax means rules. Okay, so the statements are written according to the specific set of rules. Okay, say we have to use the vowels where only we will be having the vowels, and we have to use an. Wherever we see the vowels, we use the word an apple. Okay, like that. So those are the type of rules we use. Similarly, the statements should follow the specific set of rules which are called as syntax. Then every statement should have at least one Q basic command word. Okay, so every statement should have at least one Q basic command word. Okay, that will be the very, very important rule, because the computer will recognize only the keywords. Keywords are what? These Q basic command words are called keywords. And the keywords and syntax are very, very important in the computer programming. This is very, very important. Keywords and syntax are the instructions given to the computer. The statements are executed in the order which they are written. Order means if the first statement is asking to get the input, only after getting the input you can do the addition or subtraction or anything. Without getting the input you cannot do. So according to the order only it will be executed. Okay. So these are all the main 4 rules. That is, every line is called a statement and each statement should have a set of rules, that is called syntax, and every line should have at least one QBasic command word which is called as keyword, and then finally the statements will be executed in the order of execution, in the same order. Okay, now we are going to discuss about 2 topics, that is the data. Data is a collection of facts and figures which is to be entered into the computer. Now QBasic data is of 2 types, one is the constants and the other one is the variables. So what is constants? Constants means the value which does not change. Okay, constant means the same value. Wherever you go, the value will be the same. Okay, so the value which does not change during the execution of the program is called constant. Now, the constants are of 2 types. One is the numeric constant and other one is the alphanumeric or the string constant. What is this numeric constant? Numeric constant means it will be using only the numbers. Okay, with plus sign, minus sign, with decimals, everything. Okay, so all this will become the valid numeric constants. Coming to alphanumeric means it will be having alphabets, it will be having numbers like our address. It will be having numbers, the street number, pin code, and the nagar name. All this can come under alphanumeric constants. Okay. Then coming to the variables. Variable means, as the name suggests, it will be varying. So variable is nothing but which is changing the value whenever we are going to execute the program. And it is given as a location in the memory. Okay, this part is nothing but it will be stored in the memory location. The value will be stored in the memory location as and when it is assigned. So there are 2 types of variables. What are the 2 types of variables? Again, we will be having the numeric variable and the alphanumeric variable. So the numeric variable means it will be containing only the numeric values. So we have to represent that by an alphabet only. Okay, so it should not contain any space, only an underscore can be used. Example, A equal to 20, that is the value 20 is assigned to the alphabet A, and AB2 equal to 15, that is I am going to assign 15 to an variable AB2, and I can also have a variable like A underscore 6. Now coming to alphanumeric or the string variable, that is I am going to store a set of alphabets in a variable. So that variable has to be represented with a $sign. Then only I can say this is a string variable. It can contain letters, can contain underscore symbol, and the last character should always have a $sign. It should always have a $sign. Like AB $1. Okay. Now there are 2 types of modes in QBasic. So what are the 2 types of modes? One is the direct mode, other one is the program mode. In the direct mode, okay, you can type the single line instruction and the output is viewed as soon as you enter the enter key. Okay, the instructions are not stored in the memory and this is only for quick calculations. It will be used only for the quick, like our calculator in our mobiles. How will we use? We will be simply using for some calculation, and then what we will do, we can come out very easily. Whereas in the program mode, it is stored in the memory. You should use the line numbers. You should use the command to get the output also. Okay, so the 2 modes are the direct mode and the program mode. Now we are going to see few statements which we are going to use in our QBasic. The first statement is the let statement. Let is nothing but an assignment statement. I am going to assign. Say when you are joining in our school, you will be assigned to 6th standard for a year. Then in the next academic year, you will be assigned to the next class, say 7th standard. So this let statement is used to assign the a value to the variable. Okay, what is the syntax? Syntax is that particular line number. Line number is 10, 20. That is, you are going to give a number to the line. So line number then the let command should be there, the let command, and then the variable name. We already discussed the variable name like A or B or whichever is, and the value of the expression should be given. Then only you can assign a value to the variable. So that is what the let statement is also called as the assignment statement. Now we will see the example. Say let A equal to 5. That is where 5 is assigned to the variable A. Now coming to the print command. Print means what? We are going to print the output on the screen. So for that we have the syntax as the line number print command. It can be a constant, it can be a string constant, or it can be a variable, or it can be an expression. Say print 20 plus 30. So what is 20 plus 30? It will be 20 plus 10. The answer will be 30. So your output will be, first answer will be 30. Then it will print 30 because it is 20 plus 10. The next one is print God bless you. This is a string constant. So it will directly print this. Print A. Print A means the value of A will be printed. If the value of A is 5, then it will be printed. So these are all the various syntax for print command. So print followed by, it can be an expression, it can be a variable, or it can be a string constant or a simple constant. Then if I say print with semicolon, what will happen? It will be used to print values one after another without any space. If the semicolon is there, it means it is without any space. Whereas when I put comma between the variables, then there will be plenty of spaces. Okay. So if I put comma, it will take space. If I put semicolon, there will be not any space at all. Okay, they have given the example like this. Say print x, y, sum, z. See how much space they have given. This much space will be given between the variables. Now print with tab function. What will happen with tab? When I say tab, it is used to move the print position to the column indicated. It will go to the column indicated in the argument. Say I want in the 5th column. I don't want it near. So I can say that particular column in the argument. Say look at this program. I want the name at tab 20. That is after 20 spaces I have to print this marks. Say name is Raman. After 20 tab, the 20th column, I have to go to the 20th column. I will go to write the marks as 62. Manas, in the 20th column, I will write the marks as 90. For Kabir, I will be having 92 in the 20th column. Likewise. And before that also, if I need space, I am giving tab. So this is for giving a good look or to give a clean presentation for the output. Okay. Now coming to leaving the blank line. I don't want I want a space. I want 2-3 lines to be blank in between. So what can I say? I'll simply write print. I'll just write print and I'll leave simply nothing. That means I will be having a space. I'll be having a blank line. Okay. Say hard work is the key. Hard work is the key to success. So to success is after leaving one line. Now coming to the input statement. We saw what are the print statements. Now we will see what is the input statement. Input statement is mainly to accept the data from the user. That is, if the user is going to give the data, it should be through the input statement only. Input statement is very, very important. So we can make the data entry by displaying the question mark. It will ask the question mark during the execution of the program. What do you want to enter? Likewise, the program execution is suspended till the user enters the valid entry. Okay, so how is that done? The syntax is the line number, input keyword, and it can be a numeric variable or a string variable. Like 10 is the line number, input A. So the user will be prompted or the user will be asked what is the value for A, and user has to give. Okay, then only the program will start the execution. Now While using input statement, the computer will do the following things. What are the things? It stops the further processing of the program. It prints a question mark on the screen. It will wait for the user to enter the data, and it will assign the data in the memory. It will assign the data into the variable. That means it is going to the memory. Okay. Say input max. Okay. There it will be asking, prompting the question, what is the max? So it will say you have to put 95, and in computer you should put 89. Likewise, you have to input all the marks for all the subjects, and finally the total marks it will be added, or you have to add and give. Whichever way you want, you can do this. So what did we see now? We saw first statement as let statement. Let means you are going to assign the values. That's all. Whereas in the print we saw simple print command, and then we saw with a semicolon, then with comma. Semicolon, no space. When you put comma, there is some space, and when I put tab, you can give the column, which column you want the data to be printed. And then if you want to leave a blank line also, you can leave the blank line. Coming to the input statement, this is a statement through which the data is entered into the computer. So the syntax is the line number input with our variable, numeric or a string variable. And when the input command is there, the computer will stop the processing. It will be waiting for the user to give the input, and finally it will be storing or assigning the value to the variable. Okay, you should know only till this. Go through all this and let me know if you have any doubts. Okay children, thank you.